So you'd like to hear a success story in the making. It's Zoe Trans Inc., a subsidiary of Zoe Products Inc. But you can call it Zoe for short and leave it at that. It's what famed car designer Larry Shinoda, TV personality Dennis James, and soon thousands of other Americans have in common. An admirable relationship with a three-wheel, four-passenger, fuel-efficient, incredibly low-priced automobile.
Let him tell you anyway, but he's a perfect candidate to talk to, in my opinion.
James P. MacPherson is president and chief executive officer of Zoe Products Inc., a company he formed in 1980.
We're not a manufacturing company. We are a marketing and distribution company with complete design and engineering capabilities. Our marketing staff of seasoned sales executives are placed in key areas around the United States. Our well-staffed engineering department has done and continues to do engineering modifications to the existing Reliant, which is for sale in the United States.
Dave Long, who had an extensive automotive career in Detroit, is now chief engineer at the Zoe plant in Irvine, California. He explains.
We've made extensive changes to the Reliant today from what it is now produced in England. We have made innovations in the interior, completely redoing the interior from both a color standpoint, seating standpoint. We've made exterior color changes, exterior graphic changes. We've changed the rear suspension, which caused us to change the rear fender configuration. So we really have a very, very different car from the one that is now produced in England right now.
Zoe engineers are constantly working on the vehicle's design, improving upon a formula that has been proven successful over time. Modifications are made to the exterior design in a way of a wider rear axle. And interior comfort is enhanced via new seating. Aesthetically, the car is now different, and these changes are then incorporated into the Zoe manufacturing process. Dennis James is Zoe's TV, radio, and print spokesman.
All my life, the credibility came because I never dealt with a product I didn't believe in. A lot of guys make that statement, but I can say that being a salesman all these years, I've really been a salesman for four major clients in my life. Physicians Mutual Insurance Company that I now have nationally, and Zoe, and that's it right now.
Larry Shinoda, father of the Corvette among other revered cars, is the firm's senior consultant.
All design's a challenge. In this case, it's the challenge is to come up with a unique package that the major large manufacturers are not interested in.
Perhaps the best advertisement is a satisfied customer. The Reverend Richard Duncan has owned a Reliant for 4.5 years.
I've been intrigued with the vehicle in the sense that it not only gets around, it's light, it's fast, it's highly maneuverable. The other thing that I find exciting about it is that it creates a lot of smiles in people's faces you're driving by. I've had the car about 4.5 years, and in that period of time I've put over 150,000 miles on the vehicle. And when I calculated how much money I've saved when I figure anywhere from 50 to 70 miles per gallon, I've paid for the car and then some just in driving it around.
Believing in letting a good thing roll, the Reverend took a test drive in the new Zoe.
Had a great time running this car around the block, and compared to my vehicle, which is about 10 years older, I noticed several things that are kind of intriguing. The first thing is that the hood is sloped a little further down than my vehicle, so you've got a better view of the road. And because you're sitting fairly low in your profile, that really helps in visibility. The other thing that I like about this is it's more responsive. It's a little larger engine than mine. This has an 850cc engine. Mine has a 750cc engine. And so the response is a bit quicker. The other thing that I'm intrigued with is it feels even more stable. Now, my vehicle doesn't have the wide wheelbase, and I've never had any dilemmas with it, tipping or what have you, but you always have that little inner feeling in your gut wondering if it's going to happen. It never has. This one, there was no sense of that at all. I even pushed it pretty hard going around a couple corners here just a little bit ago, and no sense of it having any kind of tendency to tip at all. That's the first question people ask.
You're watching KCRA TV, where the news comes first.
Well, a new make of a three-wheeled vehicle has been introduced to the United States.
Channel 5 News at 10.
The gas mileage per gallon is mighty high, and the price is below $5,000. Now, as you'll see in this report, the look of this new car is certainly turning heads.
This is Channel 7, the #1 station for news in Southern California.
Coming next here this evening, Southern California motorists will have a chance to test drive two imports that promise phenomenal gas mileage.
Fed up with the high price of gasoline these days? Well, who isn't? Laura Diaz says, wait just a minute here. Maybe you ought to consider driving something with 3 wheels rather than with 4.
Andrew Holtz, CNN, Irvine, California.
Well, 75 miles to the gallon, but 3 wheels to ride on.
We think it's an efficient design as opposed to a 4-wheel vehicle. And we think both ourselves and the customer will benefit in terms of cost to us, which reflects as cost to the consumer.
The word is getting out about the new car marketing company that resembles the initial financial plan of a car known as Subaru. ZOE Trans is the exclusive marketer of the car in the U.S., Canada, Mexico, New Zealand, Australia, and the Caribbean. Here are what some of the dealers have to say after coming to see what the news people were talking about. Gene O'Hara of Lux Motors in Fallbrook, California. He had been with Nissan Motors prior.
Oh, I'm really interested in it. I've handled English products before, and I'm really interested in this. I think the styling and everything is unique, and it ought to go great.
Bob Terry, president of Terry Buick and Saab and Terry Leasing, has already lined up a dealership.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Had a chance to take it out and drive it down the street for about 5 or 6 blocks. As you can see, I'm 6'5" and about 230 pounds. Very few cars that I can fit into even comfortably. This was a car that, first looking at it, thought I couldn't even get in it, got in and sat down, got used to it, and was very impressed with how the car handled out on the street. A little concerned about 3 wheels, and whipped around the corner down here at the end of the intersection, and was very surprised I went around the corner without even leaning very much. I've been in the automobile business 25 years and have seen a lot of cars come and go, and a lot of franchises I've passed on. This is one I think I'm very impressed with, and I think I probably will wind up being a ZOE dealer for Southern California.
It handled well, and it had good performance, I thought. Good pickup on the street over here.
So far, the handling seems to be great. It's turned real easy coming out of the ZOE headquarters. Gear shifting, man, that's real with ease. The travel is real short. The clutch is real flexible. Downshifting, great, no problem at all.
Very comfortable. The handling was good as a lot of sports cars. And the seats held in there very well. And like I said, you can't tell it only has 3. Feels like a regular sports car. Very comfortable riding, too.
Our panel van is tremendously appealing to commercial companies because it's a rolling billboard that attracts more attention than any other car on the road. At the same time, it's entirely practical for commercial use because of its tremendous storage capacity and its low operating cost.
James MacPherson II, Vice President of Company Operations, and Tom Tollefson, Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, discussed the company's financial future. Jock Fear, Vice President Sales. Prior to coming on board with ZOE Trans, he was Vice President of Sales with DeLorean and National Sales Manager with Mazda. Here he discusses dealer locations and key markets with Vincent Agel, National Marketing Director for ZOE.
I think the kind of a dealer that we'll be looking for and that will be looking for us is someone who has a tremendous amount of imagination, because we do have a relatively new product to introduce to the United States. Not new to the world, it's common throughout Europe and Asia, the Orient particularly. This person will be an aggressive person, probably a heavy advertiser. And if you were to ask me whether we would have more import dealers than domestic dealers, I'd have difficulty in answering that question, because even though our car is an import, since it is new, different, and has absolutely no competition with anything on the market today, it's not going to interfere with any of the products that any of the dealers currently have. So there'd be no competition there. The dealer probably is one of those persons who's always looking for something new to add to their current lines, something that will be bringing traffic to the dealership, because they spend thousands of dollars each month trying to bring traffic into a dealership. Naturally, always looking for something profitable, and we have all those things built in for them.
Jim Bates, National Parts and Service Director, discusses the logistics of parts distribution and the ZOE service organization.
Okay, we're presently setting up a very conventional import vehicle distribution company. The cars will be coming to the port of entry in LA initially, and probably will add Jacksonville, Florida as well. At the ports, they'll install air conditioning and radio accessories, and from that point the vehicles will be shipped on to our dealers from the ports. This facility that we have here, there will be no vehicle preparation whatsoever done here. At our Irvine facility, we'll be stocking a fully computerized parts distribution center. And at this location also, that we'll be providing technical field support through our field service engineers. That we've made a very strong commitment at this point to parts availability and service technical assistance. As with any vehicle importer, and especially a new one, that we recognize the importance of that for our long-term success. Consumer satisfaction is obviously our utmost importance.
James MacPherson elaborates.
It's no secret that typically young people, 18 to 30, buy inexpensive economy cars that have very little appeal and very little styling. Or they buy 5-year-old used cars that have many problems, and they still cost $5,000. Now take the ZOE car, for example. It's totally unique in the marketplace. It has very sporty styling. In fact, it's a sports wagon. And it has other advantages of economy cars, such as low initial cost, very good gas mileage, and low maintenance costs. All things being equal, what young people really want is something different. And obviously, ZOE is different.
ZOE, there you have it. Like the ad says, if you're a dealer, take us on now or take us on later. If you're an investor, remember the Volkswagen Bug. And if you're in the market for a great car with investment potential, call a dealer. At well over 50 miles per gallon, under $6,000, this won't be a secret long.